What up, though? What's going on, party people? In the place to be, it is I, Aaron Duncan, and this light is way too bright. Let's turn something off. Got me in here looking greasy. I am kind of greasy. I got a haircut today. Shout out to my barber. But shout out to everybody in the chat as well. It is Thursday. It's Friday for me because your boy has tomorrow off because of the holiday. Shout out to 250 years of America. Yes, shout out to 250 years of America. So clap it up for that. 250 of them things. But Juneteenth passed already as well. The true another Independence Day per se. But we got people in the chat. Rails, what up, though? J47, what up, though? Trizzy, what up, though? Stream Bean Poppy in the building. Nicole Ivory, what up, though? Chicken Wayne, what's good, brother? Rambo, what up, though? Said tall. Nah, I ain't tall. Yeah. So, yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about today. You saw the headline. Is it time to shake up the Carolina Panthers tight end room? ESPN wrote a little article about some bold predictions per se, and it included a nugget about the Carolina Panthers trading for a pretty solid tight end. You know what I mean? So we're going to talk about that. And I felt like it was a perfect time to go ahead and evaluate the tight end room. Y'all, we almost there. Next week is the final position breakdown of this series. Then we're going to start talking about camp and all that stuff. Maybe I'll do something for the special teams. But the next week is going to be more of at the O-line, we're going to do more of a little of a scheme fit for the last one. And then that following week, it'll be time for training camp. It'll be time for training camp. At the further review, we'll take probably a 2-week hiatus until the Hall of Fame game. After the Hall of Fame game, obviously we'll do another video when we have tape. But so next week's O-line, week after that, scheme. After that, once training camp starts, we will take a 2-week hiatus because we'll be covering the news of training camp. We'll get back to the tape when we get more tape, which is the Hall of Fame game. So just to give you some housekeeping on that one. All that being said, this is a live stream of film breakdowns. You're not going to get content like this anywhere else for the Carolina Panthers. So if I appreciate you guys watching, give the video a thumbs up. If you have not, subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, you're in good company. You're in good company. You're amongst friends and people that are like-minded. We are family. We are family. We are family. Anybody cooking out this weekend? Speaking of family, y'all trying to invite me? Send me a plate. FedEx me a plate. You know what I mean? Anybody want to FedEx me a plate? Since we family. Who cooking out? Who on the grill this weekend? I'm taking this weekend off. I ain't cooking this weekend. It's too hot. It's too hot. I'm partaking. I am not getting on the grill this weekend. I'm sorry. It's way too hot to be outside, bro. I'm by somebody's pool. I'm getting on somebody's lake on a boat. I'm not getting close to no grill. I'm sorry. Catch me inside in the kitchen. I'm not in front of nobody grill. I'm not. This is advanced heat, bro. This ain't the heat I grew up on. And I'm born and raised in the South. This is not the heat. When I was outside playing football, summer workouts, all that stuff, it was not this hot, bro. It's June. Summer just started It's July, excuse me. Summer just started a couple weeks ago. And we got an extreme heat wave that came through the South. This is crazy. I think my AC down here in the basement now went out too. The thermostat says call for service. I got the fan on up here, man. I'm sweating. Might get a little musty in here. Who knows? It is hot, bro. It is hot. It is hot. This ain't the heat I grew up on, man. It ain't. Global warming is going crazy. Y'all make sure y'all get a video thumbs up, please. We got 40 people, 44 people in the chat, 11 likes. Yeah, the AC bill about to be crazy. These dudes laughing to the bank. They laughing to the bank, man. If you see a trickle go down the side of my face, you just know. Just know. But I hope you guys have been doing okay. We're not gonna be before you long, man. Again, I got tomorrow off, long weekend. I got to get up early and go to the gym because we're hitting the road. We're going out to my father-in-law's crib. You know what I'm saying? To kick it. Family coming in town. So I'm not gonna be before y'all long. Shout out to the USA World Cup 2-0 win. Portugal just had a thriller. England was on fraud watch the other day. But man, shout out to the football. But we get into American football. All right. So let's get right into it, man. I'm not gonna waste a ton of time. There's no reason to. So like I mentioned in the intro to the video, ESPN proposed a trade during their bold predictions, and of course, they've given us a lot of stuff to talk about. Said he landed on the Panthers. He talked about Sam Laporta potentially being traded, tight end, former first-round pick of the Detroit Lions. Said landed on the Panthers, who have a deep tight end room, but no difference-making pass catcher in the group. They can easily flip one of their young tight ends back to Detroit and carve out targets for Laporta. Coach Dave Canales loves to get his tight ends yak opportunities near the line of scrimmage, which fits Laporta's style. And because the Panthers' starting receivers are big-bodied, a.k.a. T-Mac and Jalen Coker, Laporta can hide in the running game. Again, the Lions don't have to move Laporta, but for our rival GM, I'd be calling and making offers. So, the logic behind this is that this is a bold prediction. The Lions have drafted incredibly well, which has been a big part of their turnaround of them being good over the past few years. And they kind of have a logjam of guys that need extensions and have gotten extensions, right? They got rid of Terrion Arnold recently because that was a relief because he hasn't been good, but they didn't want to pay him down the line anyway. But now they have a problem because Jahmyr Gibbs is about to get paid. They have Brian Branch, who's probably going to get paid. Jamison Williams recently got paid, if I'm not mistaken. And then Sam Laporta is a guy in the pipeline that could potentially get paid. Now, we just saw Kyle Pitts get, $15-something million a year, something like that. Kyle Pitts got a pretty good check for a guy that didn't really do much until that final year of his deal. And so you assume that Laporta would be a guy that could command a solid bag if he has a productive year just based off of what's been trending. And so they can't afford to pay, their fourth option? Because Gibbs is going to get the ball. Jamison Williams has emerged as a guy. And we know Amon-Ra St. Brown is the number one target. So you're looking at Laporta being that fourth option on their offense, and you're talking about paying him $15 million? That can be a stretch. So I understand the logic of the writer of this post. And so for them to peg the Carolina Panthers, it's a little intriguing. Now, I know some of y'all have been thirsty for the tight end position. I'm not going to lie. We have had a putrid level of production from our tight end room since Greg Olsen hung them cleats up. Shoot, even before that, because we got rid of Greg Olsen. All that being said, y'all wanted Kenyon Sadiq, who I knew up and down was not worthy of a first-round pick. I personally did want Oscar Delp, some new blood. People were looking at other free agents, tight ends. But to me, I just wasn't big on getting somebody very, very high. And we'll talk about a little bit more the issues with tight end in this offense and the role it plays. But Laporta is very, very intriguing in terms of somebody to add. Now, of course, y'all know y'all general manager. Y'all know y'all general manager, Dan Morgan. He does not like parting with draft picks. This brother loves draft picks. He's not trading draft picks unless he's getting draft picks back. He'll give a little late round something to pick up a Deontay Johnson. a low risk, high reward type thing. But as far as statement trades for players, that just hasn't been his nature thus far. Now, of course, he's still a younger GM in his tenure. What, 3 offseasons, 4 offseasons, something like that? So maybe he's still writing his own resume of what he is. But I don't think he would move the capital for this. That's just first things first. So let's get that out the way. I know some of y'all are going to say that, so y'all don't even want to go down this trail. I'm just throwing that out there. But we're playing devil's advocate and going down this road. I mean, I like the idea because we do need yak. I've been telling you, this is why we don't have so many. This is why Bryce Young's numbers aren't super, super gaudy. We do not get yak. We've been one of the worst yards after catch per reception teams since Bryce has been in the league. Now, we talked about it a little bit in the wide receiver episode. Some of it's on Bryce. You have to put the ball accurately on your receivers for them to be able to catch and run and stride. Some of it is on the receivers as well. You have to catch it clean, Xavier Legette, and get the ball moving. Some of our guys just aren't fast at receiver. And then some of it's on scheme. Why don't we have more opportunities for other guys to get yak? We do for tight ends because a lot of times they just get checkdowns. But why don't we have more opportunities for our receivers to get yak? Why we can't manufacture more touches and get creative for those guys? I know we don't have a ton of them, but I think that's something that we could try to do more of. Right? And so I just think that having yak would help boost those numbers. Look at the Falcons game. Look how much yak we got. T-Mac breaking that long one on a dig. Xavier Legette getting some yak a couple times. Tommy Tremble, huge amount of yak on that one long run. So once you get that yak, that's what ends up having a 400-something yard game because you get that extra yardage. That's free yardage. And so that's just something that we need to continue to try to work on in this offense. Apologies, my mouth is dry. It's I don't know what. It's hot down here, I told you. And so I think that a tight end that can give us yak is what I've been begging for, which is why I wanted Oscar Delp. A bigger guy that's a great athlete, you know. And Laporta fits the bill. Now, I see some of y'all talking about the injury, whether it was his back. I think it was a back injury last year. But from what I understand, everything seems to be fine at this point. Everything seems to be fine moving forward. Been a long offseason. He missed some games last year, of course, for it. But to give up a JT Sanders or a Mitchell Evans, I'm assuming you have to probably do JT Sanders because we need somebody that's got to be able to block. Laporta ain't much of a blocker. Mitchell Evans is our best blocking tight end, probably him and Tommy Tremble. So we would need to we had to keep one of them. So giving a young tight end, I'm with it. I would be with it. But I just don't think it's likely. But it's definitely something that we need and could use in this team, on this roster. Said we trade Sanders and Shaw Smith-Wade. Potentially. But yeah, I like that trade. I like the potential of connecting us with that. We do need a tight end. I don't know what the price would be per se. I don't. I can't even ballpark it. But a player and a 5th? Hell yeah. Since they know they can't pay him. Hell yeah, do it. Why not? Why not? Let's get this offense back. Not bad. Let's get this offense productive. It's really been embarrassing, some of the offensive passing output that we've had. And again, having Yak is going to help boost that. That's what I say. But I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you guys give the video a thumbs up if you have not. We got people trickling in, but not enough people have given the video a thumbs up. Use your Roku remote. Use your Apple device, your Apple TV remote. I lost my Apple remote recently. I don't know where it's at, but I'll be using my phone. So use your phone remote. Swipe down, you know what I'm saying? Give the video a thumbs up. I know you might not be able to comment if you're watching it on TV, but you can definitely give the video a thumbs up. I know you can. Go ahead and do it. If you're on the phone, go ahead and do it. And if you're on the mobile, hit that hype button too. Hit that hype button too. Go ahead and hit that hype button. Appreciate y'all. But all right. So let's look at a depth chart. Here's the tight end depth chart. Right now, 5 tight ends currently on the roster. Tommy Tremble, JT Sanders, Mitchell Evans, Felipe Franks, and James Mitchell. So, they brought Felipe Franks back. He was an op. He was with us. No, he was an op. Then he was with us. Then he was an op again. And now he's back. So, he's a special teams guy. We know that. We know he's a jokester. Folks was cracking jokes about us having Will Grier. And if you just tell a Florida fan, in NFL, fast forward a few years, you got Will Grier throwing passes to Felipe Franks in practice. Who would have thought? Will Grier will be throwing passes to Felipe Franks in the NFL? It's a college football dream. But our depth chart, man, it's not much change happened this offseason. Not any change. The only change was Felipe Franks. The Carolina Panthers did not prioritize the tight end position. Did they feel like it was good enough? Maybe not. They kicked the tires on Oscar Delp. You know what I'm saying? During the pre-draft process. Didn't really hear word about them being interested in King Sadiq. Max Clare out of Ohio State was the guy that they met with as well. Tight end was clearly on the menu potentially, but the board just didn't fall that way. But again, this is one of the first years they've not taken a tight end under Dave Canales in a couple years, because he did it in Tampa, did it his first 2 years here with JT Sanders. And then, of course, Mitchell Evans last year. Yeah, Rambo said can't have superstars everywhere. And I agree. Everything's not going to be able to get addressed in one offseason. Just like last year, linebacker was that position that we kind of just let ride and hope for the best. It didn't work out too well, but that's kind of what tight end has been. Somebody's got to develop. Somebody's got to step up. Somebody's got to do their thing and just separate themselves and become a consistent playmaker out of this group. Tommy Tremble, he's more tight end 2 material than tight end 1, in my opinion. But he does an okay job, but he's just not demonstrative in size. He's a good athlete. He's a try-hard in terms of blocking. But there's just a lot of meat left on the bones and stuff left to be desired in the passing game. I didn't put his name on here, but I'm kind of including him. Bryson Tremaine. Bryson Tremaine is a guy that is like a hybrid H-back type of big body receiver, small body tight end. They use him in unique ways, and we'll look at it a little bit later. But I actually like Bryson Tremaine as a kind of a change of pace guy. Again, he's not listed as a tight end, but I think the fact that he plays special teams, plays both, can save some roster spots. I think as long as he stays consistent, I think Bryson Tremaine has a home. Good Lord, I'm washed. Yawning at 9:30. It's because I don't go to bed at night. Simple and plain. Stay up late, get up early. Sleep when I die. I need to start sleeping more. I get these bags under my eyes, man. I'm trying not to look old. I'm trying to work on my facial routine. But do we have the worst tight end room in the league? If you said that, I wouldn't argue. Just the production hasn't been there. The usage has not been there. It's bad, man. Joe Clarity, what up, though? What do y'all think? Do we have the worst tight end room in the league? It's got to be up there. The production has been some of the worst in the NFL over the last few years. Somebody just stole one of our analytics guys. The Titans hired somebody from our analytics department. He had been with the team for 7 years. So he was a day one. Not a day one. Been in for a little bit with Tepper. Somebody says almost. It's definitely bottom 5. Yeah. I would have to do some searching, but it's rough, man. The tight end room is rough. It's rough. And so I want to talk about some of the struggles of this group. We're going to talk about some of the struggles of this group. Yeah, congrats to him. Congrats to him. We're going to talk about some of the struggles of the group, and we're going to look at some tape. But really quick, before we move any further, I got to pay some bills. Shout out to Prize Picks, the sponsor of this video. Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picking app. All you got to do is pick higher or lower, more or less on your favorite player stats, 2 or more together. You're going to win some cash if you get them correct. The best way to watch sports and win cash, and it is knockout time. We at the round of 16 for the World Cup. I'm over here dropping lingo and terminology like I know soccer. I'm a casual. But what I do know is the stars have been showing up. Look at my slip that I'm creating right now. Tomorrow, or Friday. Yeah, Friday. I got Messi, less than 47.5 passes. Look at this. He don't pass the ball. Messi does what Messi does. Messi don't pass the ball. He barely, you know what I'm saying? He's an attacker. He's trying to get goals. And he's old. He walks. He's not going to get these passes. I'm taking less on that. And man, Mbappe has been on fire. Some of the most, I think he tied the record for the most World Cup goals. He scored a goal. 3 of the 4 games they played. I'm taking Kylian Mbappe on this slip. Both of them together, and you're going to get 3 times your money. $20 entry, $2.5. $20 entry is going to win you $50. Shout out to Prize Picks. Use code HMA to get, a $50 credit instantly on your first $5 slip. So if you put $5 on this, you could win $12.50? but then get $50 extra instantly, whether it wins or lose. But shout out to all my casual soccer fans out there, man. Shout out to Prize Picks on the sponsorship of the channel this season. Yeah, being a yeah, man, exactly. Being a casual is the best. Being a casual is the best, man. No dog in a fight, not being pissed off when we lose or win. America, obviously I root for USA, but I have zero expectations. It's a good little break between basketball season, where I just spend the whole playoffs hate watching, and football season, when I put my heart and soul into the Panthers. Good little gap. Good little gap. Good little gap. But all right. To the slides. So let's talk about the struggles of this tight end room. And I think it's hard to determine what's going on, because where's the real issue? I think, first of all, it's lack of opportunities and targets. I think the Panthers, they don't use the tight end enough. And when they do, it's mainly just screens and checkdowns. The Carolina Panthers tight ends have a 20.6% target share in this pass offense. So only 20.6% of the targets go to a tight end. I don't have the numbers on how many of those are checkdowns, but that's the 8th lowest in the NFL. 8th lowest. So there's teams that use it less. The Bucs are the worst. Crazy enough. Bucs are the lowest tight end targeting team in the NFL. So I definitely think there's a lack of targets to the tight ends. I think there's a lack of playmaking too. And this can go hand in hand. If you're not making plays, maybe we're not going to waste targets on you. You know, when we throw you the ball, are you catching it? Are you dropping it? Are you taking something small and turning it into something big? If you were a better playmaker, would you get more targets? It's that chicken and the egg thing, right? And I also think that there's missed opportunities. Some by the quarterback and some by the tight end. And so that's what we're going to get into in our first segment of the film. We're going to look at all of this. Y'all ready? Hold on. My apologies. Got some buffering going on. It's a K-Dot and suffering. All right. Apologies for the delay. All right. So again, some of it is just not getting targets or not getting looks when you have the opportunity. Here's Tommy Tremble down at the bottom of the screen. And I think this is a good play design versus the Rams. You're going to get T-Mac in motion. He's going to run a little double move out and up. You're going to get Tommy Tremble down the seam. Now, they run these variations of cover 3, and when you motion, they're going to get them in that too. And so you're going to try to flood this deep zone. Make this cornerback here, put him in conflict. Excuse me. Make this cornerback in conflict. Now, watch it play out. Now, this is pretty obvious who the ball should have gone to, and Bryce was clearly staring down T-Mac. I understand T-Mac is the first read in these progressions, but you had Tommy Tremble butt naked down the seam. Now watch this. So they get an expansion from T-Mac with the out. And then this guy going inside towards Trimble fooled Bryce. But again, you hit Tommy early. As soon as you hit that back foot, you got a pretty good window right here to get the ball down the seam to Tommy Tremble. But it's a missed opportunity, not getting the look, force it to T-Mac. He gets smoked. So again, sometimes there's looks, but they're just not getting it. Now, lack of playmaking. This is pathetic, in my opinion. And JT Sanders, he kind of let me down in terms of getting yards after catch. Right here going against the Bills, close your eyes about who's that quarterback right now, but you have Andy Dalton here. And he's going to signal. You're going to just get a little bubble screen to JT Sanders, and it's going to happen exactly how they want. Andy Dalton does a good job reading the blitz. The Bills bring 7. We get the ball out on a bubble screen, and this is great. You get the ball, JT Sanders with a blocker, a hat. Can you make one guy miss? Can you make one guy miss? Can you? And then you can be dancing in the end zone. Instead, he just gets upfield and goes down pretty easy on first contact. No creativity, no playmaking. Again, these are great blocks. You have a guy one-on-one. Can you give him a little dead leg and cut back, or at least try to cut back, jab your foot in the ground? You don't, and now you get done out. So, again, lack of playmaking. That should have been a touchdown. Again, JT Sanders, just the lack of ability to break tackles consistently, gets the ball, is going to square up. Again, we talked about in that article with Sam Laporta, they scheme up opportunities for Yak. Our tight ends just don't do it. You have a cornerback, and granted, you don't have as much space. You have a cornerback versus a tight end, one-on-one. Can you make a move? You don't. You let them collapse the airspace and gets you down pretty easy where you stand. Nothing after the catch. Again, doesn't have a ton of time to make something happen, but I want my tight end to be able to be physical enough to fight through that. But it's not, and he goes down on first contact. And again, lack of playmaking. Here's JT Sanders down the seam. Bryce Young is going to try to hit him right here up the pipe. And he just can't come down with it. Not a big body guy, only 6'3", which is pretty average size for tight ends in the league. This is a tough throw, tough catch. You're going to get hit. But I want my tight ends in the red zone to be able to come up with stuff like this. Bryce looks the safety off. There's a window here. If you can get it up and down, gives JT a chance. He's looking back. I know it's hard to see, guys. I'm sorry. Here's the ball. He doesn't get up very high, as you can see. And his timing of the jump is a little off too. Gets hit anyway, can't come down with it. But again, if we have a bigger body guy, if we have a guy that can elevate a little bit more as a better athlete, does he come up with that catch? This is a hell of a throw and probably the only place you can put it. But he can't come down with it. Can't come down with it. There's not a lot of opportunities that come their way, but they don't take advantage. Again, Tommy Tremble here, going to run a crossing route. This one's a little bit tough. It's going to be hot, and it's going to be behind, but it's a first down if you catch it. Again, hot and behind is not an easy catch, but you are butt naked. Get to that backhand, like I said, hot and behind. Ends up being the drop. We don't move the sticks on first down. Again, here's JT Sanders here. Again, these are going to be not easy catches, but you have a chance. I need you to come up with these plays. Make a play. Play-making opportunities. That should be catch. That should be a catch. Again, these are opportunities that you're getting from the quarterback. Balls up. That's got to be a catch. There's a hand in your face, but not near the ball. That's got to be a catch. You got to be able to make plays sometimes for the quarterback. Stuff's not going to be perfect, but that was as close to perfect as it's going to get. But you have to be able to make plays for your quarterback. And so, again, the lack of playmaking is probably the biggest thing. And, again, the missed opportunities. The missed opportunities. And so it's tough. Again, it's that chicken or the egg argument. Do they not get targets because they don't make plays? Or do they not make plays because they don't get enough targets and whatever? And then some of the passes aren't really perfect or they're not getting looks. It's just a conundrum of moving parts of what could be wrong. There's a lot of different things of what could be wrong. And to me, man, as you can see, JT Sanders has probably been one of the biggest letdowns. And Charlie talked about it. JT Sanders losing weight in hindsight might have been one of the biggest moves that has set his career back. Now, he wasn't in the best shape coming out. Definitely looked a little soft in the middle. Not really much muscle tone. But completely losing that much weight and getting that slim. I know you weren't much of a blocker, so it didn't matter there. But it didn't look like it helped his athleticism that much. Maybe a little. But it didn't feel like it helped his athleticism that much. But it's at the point that, okay, you have 2 injuries now. Your rookie year, you hurt your neck, and it kind of set you back. You were on a pretty good track to start off as a rookie. Last year, you break your ankle. You seem to be healthy now, but you were struggling last year after the weight loss. And so I think that I don't know. I think that he needed to add some, but it needed to be muscle. I don't think you just need to go straight Ozempic, and just lose any kind of weight where your head's still big. No, I think he needed to lose the right kind of weight. The right kind of weight. And keep some muscle. Because then maybe that'll help you break tackles. But unfortunately, his athleticism has not translated. I still think there's some hope. Not saying he can be tight end 1, but just him in general. And he can be an X factor and he can help, man. Let's look at some tape. I'm disappointed and I'm not too hopeful, but there's some hope. I'm not hopeful, but there's hope. Let's look at some plays. Here he is against the Bucs. Just a hell of a play by Bryce Young, of course. But JT Sanders is going to fake that block. I mean, you're going to come all the way across after the chip. But does a good job of just staying alive. Had Bryce had time in the pocket, JT is pretty open. But Bryce has to dance around, do some magic. JT does a good job staying alive. Bryce finds him. Touchdown. Again, good job. So here we go. JT against the Falcons in the clutch. This is 4th down and 4. They're bringing a blitz. It's a good job. Just reading. Okay, the middle linebacker blitzes. You're hot. Him and Bryce on the same wavelength. Security blanket. That's what we need. Catch it, be sure-handed, protect the ball. Protect the ball. Make sure you get the first. Move the sticks. Security blanket. Here we go. What do we want JT Sanders for? Running that seam. That's what he did in college. Ran the seam. Here he is against Jacksonville. Running the seam, stretching the middle of the field. Good job getting vertical, fights through contact, gets his head around immediately in the hole. Great timing. Knows he's going to get hit. Takes the hit. Secures the pass. Again, him and Bryce being on the same page. Watch the slow motion. As soon as he comes off of that underneath defender, he's already looking. And the ball is gone. He knows Bryce likes to anticipate. It's a small window. You know it's a small window. You're going to pay the price. Might as well catch it. He does. Takes a lick. But we get a chunk play. That's what you got to do. And this is something that I think that they wanted to get from him, but it just hasn't been able to materialize. We used to do this thing with Greg Olsen where we would isolate him one-on-one backside with the corner, and he would just win one-on-one. And they tried some of that stuff. And this was an opportunity that I think was there. But this one got tipped at the line of scrimmage. Bryce took a little bit too much time, in my opinion. He should let the ball go. But watch JT Sanders. This is probably the best route that JT Sanders has ran as a Panther. Gets late press coverage. Gets late press coverage. Boom, wins outside. Sticks that foot in the ground. That's getting separation out of your break. Look, that's separation. There's not going to be much with a tight end versus a corner. That's separation. And then the ball is just errant throw. But again, Bryce takes a little bit too much time, but watch JT Sanders work. If I'm Bryce, I need the ball gone here. The ball should be out. The ball should be out. But JT Sanders wins on the route, can't get a good ball, unfortunately. But that was an opportunity where we had a good route, but isolated one-on-one. Can we get the movement skills? If you're losing weight, this is what I need you to do. I need you to be able to move better. And this is what they tried to do early on in the year. Again, being physical with the corner, going against the corner, and then just pivoting inside, wide open, knows he's going to get hit, secures it, and gets down. But again, can you win against the corners? They're smaller than you. You're only, not much, but they're smaller than you. Bully them. Bully ball. Pivot inside, wide open. Create space and separation. Get down. Look, that's what he can do. Those are flashes. But again, we're showing this again. You just not catching the ball has been an issue. This is a guy that was prized for his strong hands, didn't have a drop his final year in school, but these opportunities he hasn't been coming up with when we needed them the most. Out and up, Bryce puts it where it needs to be, back shoulder. You can't elevate and squeeze it and bring it down. We needed that. Again, yak, we need that. You got a guy one-on-one in space. Can you make a miss and get your name in the newspaper? You got the ball. Make a guy miss. Like somebody said, try to beat him with speed and you slow. Again, this one ends up being a tough one, but make some plays, man. Make some plays. Scrambling with Bryce, getting upfield. Keep your feet, man. Try to make this play. Again, you're stumbling, turning up. Squeeze it. Put your hands together and squeeze it. It goes through your hands. It was a free play, but could have been a hell of a play. That's the difference. We got to have some guys making some plays. Make plays for your quarterback, especially in the scramble drill. That's how we're going to get a lot of our explosives. Make some plays for your quarterback. So, again, JT Sanders, there's some frustration from my part on what he's done and where he's at. Obviously, the injuries have been a big factor. The weight loss has been a thing. The rookie year seems so promising. It's going to have to be him to step up out of this room. It's going to be him that's going to have to step up out this room. Can he? We going to see. But JT Sanders has to be a guy that surprises us and makes the plays, because I know a lot of people have lost faith. A lot of people don't believe that he's going to ever be the same how he was based off of that rookie year, how it started off. I mean, neck injuries are serious business, man. I don't blame him. But the weight situation has been just so weird. So weird. So weird. And so, how do we get more? Yeah, appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all get a video a thumbs up. Pretty please get them likes up. Less than half the people watching have given this video a thumbs up, man. It's free. It's free. It really helps me out too. Again, getting the sponsorships, getting these other opportunities that I'm getting, I'm soon to be announcing. The likes go a long way. They don't cost anything. Sharing it to another Panthers fan that you know doesn't cost a thing. Commenting, I appreciate the chat. Y'all interacting. But the likes and engagement, it lets the algorithm know that you feeling this. That engagement, it moves the needle. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'm ready for the captain hat too. Let's get some wins this year. Let's keep that winning going. The LeBlanc. And the captain's hat. But how do we get more? I think the bones are there to get more easily. But again, somebody's going to have to step up and surprise us. They're going to have to step up and surprise us. Leon, what up, though? Faye, what up, though? T-Dot, what up, though? So not a lot of wiggle on this team for sure. Definitely is not. Definitely not a lot of wiggle. Definitely not a lot of wiggle. We talked Laporta at the beginning to start. So just check it. Just go back once everything is done, brother. We talked about Laporta for the first couple minutes of the show before we dove into our tight end room. So how do we get more? I think we got to get creative and stay creative. So when I talk about that, this is what I mean. Here against the Jets, we got Mitchell Evans here. And I like these little tight end, middle screen type seam routes. So what we're going to do, we have ETN in here. We're going to bring ETN around on motion in the backfield. And we're going to fake a double screen. So pump left, spin, fake to Rico. And then you're going to have Evans leak down the middle of the field. I think this is a great play call. The timing wasn't great and the execution wasn't the best because it didn't time up as smooth. I think Bryce was in a little bit of a hurry. But again, stretch the defense. Get this linebacker out of there. And so he's running with him. So he's out of there. You fake the Rico this way, this guy's out of there too. Ideally, this guy gets gone as well, but he doesn't move. Meanwhile, you got Evans on a tight end delay. Up the middle, low pass, but he does a good job adjusting. That's creative. They're not going to be able to win by separation and stuff, so doing these type of creative plays is what it's going to take. Stay creative. Keep doing more of that stuff to manufacture touches for them. Hopefully we can get more off that. Here's against Tampa. Gonna have Tommy Tremble here. Gonna do a little tight end backside leak. Gonna get all the run action going this way. And then you're gonna get Tommy Tremble sneaking out of the backfield Tedero and Miller coming this way as well. So all the run action going left, as you can see, everybody's running with Evans because they think we're running. And now there's nobody backside at home, wide open to Trimble. Easy. Again, just stay creative. Stay creative. Doesn't take much. Doesn't take much. What else? I think we need more yards after catch. Again, overall as a team, we need it, but especially the tight end group. There's always going to be opportunities here in this offense just based off of checkdowns. But again, you saw JT Sanders not being able to make guys miss one-on-one. Not being fast enough to or strong enough to break tackles. We need more yak from these guys, man. We get a little bit of some flashes every so often from Tommy Tremble, and it's cute, but we need more from the whole group consistently to be able to really make some things shake on the offense. Again, one of the worst yards after catch per reception offenses since Bryce Young has been in the league. And so I want to see more of it. More. Like this. Simple dump-offs at times when they're disguised correctly can turn into big plays. Tommy Tremble up top. When you sell it. Now get your defender on the ground, throw him down. Now you're wide open. Chunk play. You high kick somebody in the face. It moves the chains. But again, watch Tremble. Easy little pitch and catch again. Just a little dump from Bryce. And again, this is how you boost yards. You get the first down. Everything else is a bonus. Jump. Add 15 more yards after catch. Again, more yak. It can come from Tremble. It can come from everybody else. Here's Tommy right here. Y'all remember this play? He's going to run the out route and pivot inside. Bryce is going to go through his progressions and come back to Tommy. This is a huge play. But again, you boost your stats with yak. This is a 5-yard completion by Bryce. This is a 5-yard completion by Bryce. But when you have guys making plays for you, it boosts your numbers. Look, that's 15, 20 yards, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 after the catch, bro. But again, these are boosting your numbers. This is why Bryce ended up with 448. All he did was a 5-yard pass. Again, he threw a 5-yard pass underneath. Tommy actually put in some work, breaking tackles, 3, 4. And then fighting for yards all the way down here. This is a huge play. And again, boosting those numbers, giving a boost to the offense because of the explosiveness and the energy. Again, comes back to you late. You're the last guy in the progression, but if we come to you late and we can get 57 yards to our last guy in the progression, that's amazing. Again, breaking tackles, fighting for yards, getting away with a face mask. But again, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn the Jets on. And you turned up too. And the last thing I think they need to do is mix up the personnel. Now, it may seem crazy to say this, but I think Bryson Tremaine is one of the biggest X factors on this offense about bringing a wild card and somebody that the defense has trouble scheming for. Hear me out. Everybody likes to run their heavy personnel now, 12, 13 personnel with 2 or 3 tight ends on the field. But when you bring in a guy like Bryson Tremaine, and they leaned into it a little bit last year, a guy that they have trained to be that H-back tight end type of guy, how do you account for him? He's truly a wide receiver, but they've coached him up enough to be dangerous as a tight end when necessary. When they go heavy personnel, he's in at wide receiver. And they've used him at times to just be that wild card that you don't really know what to do with, and they've taken advantage of the matchups that they can create with him because you can't end up with him on a tight end. Now you got a big body receiver that's a pretty solid route runner for his size against a linebacker who's not used to doing that stuff. Let's look at some examples. Because again, this is a guy that they don't really know how to game plan for. Because when you check him into the game, do you count him as a tight end? Do you count him as a receiver? What do? And so here he is right here. Look at the creativity that they do. They're gonna motion him again. He's at receiver, so they have DBs out there with them. But they motion him to the backfield. So when they motion to the backfield, he's at fullback. Watch the play action. Now he's lined up with the linebacker because we're running play action. He runs that wheel route, boom, gets upfield, that's open. He's going to be open. T-Mac's running, he's going to get a lot of attention, but he's open. He is a double mover out and up, and he's open. If Bryce puts it over the top, he can catch. But again, with everybody clearing out, I understand why Bryce just shut it down. Easy catch, easy throw, big play by Rico. But again, using this to put the defense in conflict. Motion him to the backfield. Now he gets upfield. Again, running routes out of the backfield as a wide receiver versus a linebacker. He can't stick with him. He's cooked. This is within 5 yards of the route being ran. He's cooked. But again, Tremaine, being that guy with a very unique body and skill set, is a guy that I think they need to use as a little wild card at times. Again, watch this. The Carolina Panthers break the huddle with 23 personnel, 2 running backs. It's 2 running backs, 3 tight ends. That's Trimble, that's Evans, and that's Tremaine. They break the huddle, 2 backs, 3 tight ends. That's their personnel. But what do? They come out in 3 tight end formation. They shift. Now you got DJ Dallas in the slot. You got Bryson Tremaine on the outside. You got Trimble, Evans, Rico. And now they don't really know what's going on. You spread because you got heavy personnel, but you end up running spread. Now look at Tremaine at the bottom of the screen. Now he's a receiver, and he's going against the corner. So I'm not saying like you get a linebacker on him this time, but he has the skills to do this. Look at that route. Big body, moves the sticks. This is 3rd and short. This takes some cojones to go from heavy on 3rd and short, backed up in your own end zone in the game where we're trying to come back. You motion out the empty on 3rd and 1. And who are you going to? Your wide receiver, what? 5? And so he runs a pretty good route. Gets upfield, jabs that foot in the ground. Bryce throws with good anticipation. Look, he's big. So he puts his body in between the ball and the defender. The defender can't get there. Secures it. Moves the sticks. Again, this is clutch spots in the game where we're trying to make a comeback against the Dolphins, and you're throwing a ball to a wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6 / tight end 4. And so I think being able to use Bryson Tremaine in these unique ways is something that I think that is hard for defenses to match up with, and it catches them off guard. And so I definitely would love to see them lean into a little bit more with Tremaine. Get him on the field in these ways, using them like that as that hybrid tight end / guy. But again, just being creative. But I will give them some credit. In terms of creativity, they did something last year that I thought was very, very unique and I've never seen before. Shout out to Dave Canales and Brad Isaac on one of their plays that was a staple in many weeks. And so what they would do is they ran this tight end, wide receiver, running back, screen option. I don't know how you call it. But again, you're going to get them heavy personnel, 3 tight ends, so 13 personnel with Bryson Tremaine. And what they're going to do is they run a guy and play action, and then what they do is they'll set up a screen. So Rico is here with a screen, and you got all these linemen pretty much over here blocking for him. But what they do is they sneak Mitchell Evans from across the formation and he gets a huge play. And so Mitchell Evans is going to come down here and go all the way there. Then you're going to get the screen there, lineman out, but they don't get upfield. The fact that they don't get upfield, they just stay at the line of scrimmage, allows Mitchell Evans to go downfield and allows Bryce to still throw the ball. And so you can see this guy is the key. He's running down to try to stop screen. And then Mitchell Evans sneaks right behind him. Huge play, great design, gets it down. But wait, there's more. Against the Jets, similar concept. Got Mitchell Evans here. He's going to run that, sneak down there. But we have the screen, remember? Watch it play out. Chuba Hubbard fake to him. Bryce drops back. The defense, they see Mitchell Evans this time. This is earlier in the year. They see Mitchell Evans. He sees Mitchell. He sees Mitchell. He sees Mitchell. They're vacating the premises. Bryce looks, he's reading that because, again, these guys aren't going upfield. So Bryce gets rid of the ball. He gets creamed. But, again, now you got a screen set up. 3 blockers, 4 blockers, and nobody home. Because everybody's running with Mitchell Evans down the field. So now you got elephants on parade. Chuba outruns his help. But, again, brilliant design when it sets up like that. Another variation. You can do that, but also run a wide receiver play off of it too. So now you got Xavier Legette building off of it, coming in motion. Going to do the same thing. Going to play action, going to get Mitchell Evans sneaking out the back door. And Mitchell was open, but Bryce gave XL a chance because you have men blocking. Again, they're not getting past the line of scrimmage. He gets it. Now you get 15 yards from the wide receiver screen. But again, Mitchell Evans, if Bryce had a little bit more time, Mitchell Evans is open again. And so just doing creative variation like that, they get the tight end involved and having a tight end as an option. Again, I have to give them credit for having these type of creative plays. But again, I love the way they mixed up this one. It was a pretty unique play because the linemen aren't getting upfield. So you can always run a screen if need be. And so I hope they keep that in the playbook or continue to build off of stuff like that as well. I hope so. All right. So how are we going to wrap this up? Mitchell Evans, man. Mitchell Evans was our 5th round pick out of Notre Dame. 5th or 6th. And he was at starting wide tight end. Wide tight end is the guy that's in line. So he's going to be on the line of scrimmage, not going to go in motion a ton. He's going to be blocking a lot more. He's the biggest guy in our room. Show some flashes. So I want to look at a few plays of Mitchell Evans because there weren't a ton of opportunities. Less than 20 targets on the season, but 2 touchdowns. Had touchdowns in back-to-back games. And so Mitchell Evans is a guy that I'm curious to see how they continue to build off of on what he's done. I'm very, very curious how they continue to build off what he's done because he's a guy that, again, they weren't shy about his usage. They weren't. They wanted to get him involved. They knew they wanted to roll for him immediately, and they used him. And so I think that sorry, I'm looking at something else because I'm trying to remember. They told him to change his weight. I forgot what he said that I forgot he said what they said. I think he's losing some weight or trimming up. Hope he doesn't go full JT Sanders. So they saved Bryson Tremaine's targets for the most clutch. Yeah, like against the Cardinals, the Dolphins, that one we showed. Yeah, he didn't get a ton of targets, but like, yeah, it was weird, man. Like the Falcons, that 2-minute drive when we took the lead in regulation, he had a big catch on the out route. The high IQ fans know Tremaine's worth. Exactly. This is a Bryson Tremaine fan channel. I'm curious to see how his role grows. So they save his clutch, hurting for the clutch moment. But I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with Mitchell Evans now. I want to see him develop more of a receiving bag. I want to see us use him down the field more. I want to see more yak opportunities. I just want to see him getting the ball more. But again, I don't know how much love is left for our tight end room. Where's tight end in the pecking order? After T-Mac, Coker, running the ball, of course. And then whatever we do with wide receiver 3, is there enough passing plays and opportunities to go around? We'll see. We'll see. But I can't remember what they said. I have to look up it's a press conference. I meant to do it now. But he talked about what he was doing with his weight. And what he was prescribed after. David Moore. Yeah, can't forget about David Moore. Can't forget about David Moore. So, but Mitchell Evans, man, I thought the opportunities he did get, he did pretty solid, man. Now it's time for the next step. We have tight ends as our wideouts, big body tight ends and little body, big body receivers and little body tight ends, oversized receivers and undersized tight ends. Crazy, right? Crazy. How many pass attempts? I think 30 to 35 is a sweet spot. But again, we have to put together consistent drives. That way we get more plays out of these drives and we can have more attempts. I'm fine with leaning on the run. I want to be explosive and I want to be consistent. I don't want to have to go for it on fourth down all the time because we'll only get 4 yards on third down. It's 3rd and 6 and we're scared to throw. So we run it to get to 3rd and 3. And then we let Bryce be clutch when it's 4th and 3. You know, that's seeming to be our plan this year. And I don't want that. I don't want that. So let's look at the tape with Evans, man. And then we'll wrap up for the night after we talk about it. All right. So Mitchell Evans, here he is in line. And there's going to be some play action. This is not even a ton of plays because he didn't get a ton of opportunities. But he's going to run that sail route. We're going to fake the inside crosser and then break to the out route. Good job right here getting up the field out of his stance. Again, finding the space underneath the strong side linebacker. Again, wide open. Does a good job settling, being smart, and knowing that there's a defender here. And doesn't continue to run full speed here into coverage. He sits. Bryce throws it inside to protect him. Great job. Good play. My man Bryson Tremaine was hustling here too, huh? He had Diggs. The speed turning. Shout out to Tremaine. But a good job by Evans there. Big play. Here's the first career touchdown. Another creative play by Dave Canales. You're going to get a rub route. Shout out to Tremaine again. Getting a little piece of the defender. And you're going to get a natural rub. The guy falls. Wide open Evans. Don't miss a layup. First career touchdown. Gotta love it. For the young guy. Garbage time, but we'll take it when you're a rookie, right? Mitchell Evans here. Y'all know this was was this the go-ahead touchdown? Nice creative play. Play action. Comes all the way across. Bryce gets it to him. Protects the ball. Gets it into the end zone. Not much here. Again, comes all the way across the formation. You got a mesh with Tremaine. Gets the ball. Protects it. Goes over the top for the touchdown. Nice comeback. Again, we've seen this. Just the great movement skills. He moves pretty well for a guy his size. It's up the field. Catches it with the hands. Chunk play there. And I want to finish it off with a blocking rep. Now, he did get way too many holding calls from me. I think hopefully getting his body right, he'll get some more muscle and work on that leg, that lower body strength. But I think he was feisty. He wasn't scared. And watch him coming across against the Packers going against Rashawn Gary. Boom. Good contact. Now he's underneath them. Watch him work. Watch him drive, and puts him in the dirt. The key block for Rico, because look, Rico was dancing, but the fact that Mitchell Evans kept driving, Rico went inside of that block. Shout out to Damian Lewis for getting out of the way. And then Mitchell puts him in the dirt. One more time, because we like a blocking tight end. But good job being physical. Boom. Taking them on, not just using impact, continue to drive. Move your legs and drive. Again, you want to see them be able to get lower, get that base wider, like the feet further apart so you can continue to drive. But he does a good job staying with it, staying feisty. Puts him on the ground. So, Mitchell Evans, man, like I said, wasn't much on there. But Mitchell Evans was a guy that I thought that when he had opportunities in the passing game, he did okay. What more can they do with him? That's to be told. We have to find out what it is with this tight end group that is missing. We saw the drops by JT Sanders. We saw the missed yak opportunities by JT Sanders. We saw that there's only a 20% target share for those guys, which is 8th lowest in the NFL. We saw Bryce forcing the ball to other places when the tight ends were wide open. We need to get this figured out. I'm putting the onus and the challenge flag. This is not yellow. This is gold, my do-rag. This is not even a red flag for challenge. This is just a flag. That's all I got. I'm throwing a challenge flag for JT Sanders. JT Sanders, I need you in year 3 to really show up, figure out where your body is. Let's put together a 17-game stint. And let's try to build off of what you were as a rookie and the promise that you showed. Let's get better after the catch. Let's make sure we secure all the catches. Let's get back to stretching the field down the seam. I want to see you become what we thought you were going to be coming out of college. Everybody told us you were a sleeper pick, that you were a tight end too, and you fall into the 4th round was crazy. But because of injuries and a lack of production, the haters are starting to be right. So how are you going to step up and show us that you're the guy that we were hoping you were going to be early on? There's opportunities out there in this tight end room for somebody to step up and separate themselves. Will it be you, JT Sanders? Let us know. But again, by committee has been the approach. By committee will be the approach until somebody steps up and becomes that lead dog. I'm not hopeful, but like somebody said, I'm not hopeful, but I'm not hopeless. I'm not. But yeah, man, tight end is going to be interesting this year. Something that we need a big part of. I would not mind them trading for Sam Laporta. If the price is right, I have no problem with trading for Sam Laporta. Again, make that call. See what they're talking about. Don't overspend. But, Mr. Can you be in on every deal if there is a deal? We'll see. We'll see. But I appreciate you guys watching, man. Hope you guys have a lovely, wholesome, fun 4th of July. Eat some barbecue. Let them fireworks fire off. Watch the World Cup. Get to the pool. Enjoy your family. We're deep in the summer, man. Y'all be safe. Drink y'all water. Drink your water. Put on your sunscreen, man. Put some, Rambo. Put on your sunscreen. J4 saying, appreciate it. What do I consider a good price for Laporta? They said a young tight end, so I would throw JT Sanders. JT Sanders in the 5th. JT Sanders in the 4th. I'd do JT Sanders in the 4th. But just know you're going to have to pay Sam Laporta soon. So keep that in mind. But again, y'all make sure y'all be safe, man. Take it easy. Drive safe if you're on the roads. Y'all know that traffic is going to be absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. So if you're driving, be careful, be safe. Y'all enjoy it. 250 years. I'm going to be on the boat. I may bring my captain's hat for the boat. But I'm definitely bringing my shades, my Panthers shades. So I'm going to have a good time. Y'all make sure y'all have one too. Love y'all. Be easy. 250 years, America. Peace.